Robert was in a dilemma. Things had been going much better at home since the last conversation with his wife, where he missed out on the dinner with his mother-in-law because he had to work late. Since then, he'd been leaving work earlier. He'd been keeping his promises to his wife. He'd been spending more time with his 3 young children. But he hadn't been performing as well as work. Things had been piling up at work, and he was feeling increasingly frustrated and stressed about the work that was piling up. You see, as I mentioned in chapter 1, Robert really prided himself on being the go-to guy, the guy that gets it all done, the guy that gets things done and gets them done really well, the guy that you can always rely on. That was his reputation in the company. But it was just starting to slip, because he'd made a promise to his wife and to his kids that he would spend more time with them and that he would be home when he said he would be home. But what was causing that, what was happening with that, is that the work was building up, and he was really struggling to deliver on each steps in all of the projects that he had on those special reports and tasks that he prided himself on being able to deliver on. Well, this is chapter 2 in Rob's story, and it's also the second part in the 3 time management myths that I'm going to be talking to you about. So what I'd like to do now is tell you a little bit more about Rob's story and then introduce you to the second time management myth, the second thing that steals and really wastes your time. Anyway, as I said, Rob had been improving significantly in terms of what was happening at home, but the pressure had been building. Anyway, there was this specific day where his wife had invited 2 friends over, the parents of people who had children at the same school that Rob's kids were at. And they were going to be coming for dinner on this particular night. And Rebecca had made Rob promise that he would be home in time to help set up the dinner, and he would be there for the dinner that night. And she was feeling more comfortable that he would definitely do this, given the last few weeks. Anyway, Rob's in his office and his head's spinning, trying to get the work done that he's got to do before he leaves the office at a reasonable time, at about 5 or 5:30. It's now about 4:45. And his head's spinning because he's thinking, what do I do? And how do I get out of here in time? How am I going to get it all done? And just then, he sees a shadow come to the doorway. And again, this big, booming voice, Rob! And Robert knows straight away that it's his boss, Graham, the tall silhouette in the doorway, as often happens. And he's thinking to himself, not today, not tonight, but he knows that it's going to happen anyway. Rob, my man, I know I can rely on you. You know that report that we said that we had to have on Monday? Well, now the board wants it tomorrow morning, okay? The CEO wants to go through it tonight before we send it off to the board tomorrow morning. I need it done tonight. I know I can rely on you, Rob, to get it done. So you make sure you get it done before you get out of here. Email it to me and the CEO before you go home. Got it? Silence. Rob sits back for a minute. Graham takes half a step to turn away, and all of a sudden Rob says, Graham? Yes, Rob? Look, I've promised my wife that I'd be home for dinner because we've got some special people coming over. So I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do it. Graham replies, Rob, got a team? That's fine. You're going to be home tonight? No worries. Just make sure you get it done, get your people to do it, and make sure it's done right. And with that, Graham leaves. Rob sits there stunned. It's really the first time that he's ever said that he wouldn't do a specific task, especially one from the CEO, exactly when it was asked for. But he was also a little bit stunned by the reaction from Graham. He thought Graham was going to tell him he had to stay. And in some ways, if he had have, that would have given Rob a great excuse. But no, this confused him even more. Graham had given him the okay to go home, but he said that he had to get the job done. What was Rob going to do? Again, his head started spinning. Who can I get to do this job? What's going to happen? Should I stay and do it myself? This is Rob thinking to himself. Or should I give it to the team? How will they feel if I dump it on them at this stage? What do you think Rob is going to do? Well, that's what you'll find out in the third instalment, third chapter of this little story.